Um, Today I think I'm going to go to the book of Esther. Yesterday I started with the Taliban insurgency, and today I'm going to go to the book of Esther because I feel that with my messages and my understanding of me joined with the Middle East, I want to gain a lot of confidence. And confidence, as the Word of God states through, in fact, the Spirit of prophecy states, will not come from me fighting physical battles with people because I'm taking their men. It's not going to come with me going and disrespecting people in their homes because I'm a mad woman. Confidence will come from when I share the prophetic message. I understand the prophetic message. I understand the Bible, and those prophetic messages are then blessed by God through fulfillment or me collaborating with people that has to do with that work. So I don't want to go around and pretend as if I don't know anything. I don't want to pretend as if I don't have my work that I'm doing. I want to be very clear about what I do and be very clear about what I understand, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to the book of Esther. In 2020, I understood that I have the messages of the Taliban insurgency, the message of the civil unrest, and the message of the coming of the Lord. And so these three messages were messages that I shared in my article. And then I had the message of the destruction of Jerusalem and 120 also, which is the upper room experience. I am now going to go to um, I'm gonna go to the book of Esther. I did study the book of studies in the book of Esther, but I haven't written them down. I'm still gonna write them down again. I had a book, I wrote them down in, and then that was a long time ago. It was like in 2016, 2017 there. I was studying Esther with Jeff, Jeff's group. It's very important to me to study Esther again because I understand myself to be an Esther. In 2023, King Frederick said, King Prince Christian is Esther. As he says, for such a time as this, you are called Christian. He has his reasons for doing that, and I won't include those reasons in my work. The reason I'm not going to include his reasons in my work and I just talk about it to show that I saw it, I heard it, is because I know it is relevant because these are people who are public figures that are working in as world leaders. So it is relevant, though it is not entirely my work. So I don't know why he is Esther entirely, other than that for such a time as this, he's called Christian. And I thought maybe it is because of the captivities. They saw the captivities, but I don't know if they do know about the captivities. Maybe they do know, I don't know. I'm gonna go to Esther and read the experience of Esther and talk a little bit more on the experience of Esther. The first thing that I want to talk about is that the book of Esther is speaking about a lady who is kept by her uncle, and then goes. A call comes, and they go to Shushan. They go to and I think it is Shushan. I'm not sure. Yeah, it is. It is Shushan, the palace of the king. And Shushan in this instant was where Ahasuerus was king of the Medes and the Persians. So Esther is called to, well, she is kept by Mordecai, her uncle. And the first thing I want to talk about is my experience. I think I should talk about it. Before I read, I should talk about my experience first of all. Um, the work that President Biden has done is extremely evil and wicked towards me. When I entered into office in 2021, um, I had my articles in 2020. I entered into office in 2021, and I have already been running for, in 2021, I have been running for over 6 years. So 2021 was my sixth year. I don't like what is done because right when I was getting whatever it is that God had already prepared for me as a person, with my messages, He brings other women to come and compete with me in what I'm already getting. As a result, I was shoved, I was pushed, I was trampled on, I was slapped. I was still being slapped even today, shoved, trampled on, pushed by other women who were given the confidence by President Biden. And I think the confidence itself, um, and the work that President Biden was doing is, um, I think, for him, being a Christian president, the work itself was him fighting heathenism. And fighting heathenism can go throughout, it can go from China to the Middle East to India to Africa. So 2021 to 2024 comes in, and President Biden is trying to establish himself as a president who is pro-Christianity, and not only pro-Christianity, but he's also pro-Catholic. So this is something that I don't like. I don't like what he did because his intentions were pure on his side. But on my side, it was not pure at all. Um, the work that I was expecting, in fact, my expectation versus reality, I came in with my messages. I'd already done a work. There were 5 of us in the movement, 5 ladies that were just coming from Wusu. Um, there were many ladies in the movement. So when I say 5, it feels like I'm lying. I'm not lying. There were 5 ladies in the movement that were coming from Wusu. As I say, we were a group of 5 ladies, and there were many other ladies in the movement with us. But we were close because we were coming from Wusu together. And it wasn't just us as brethren, there were other men too. So, a woman in the Bible, in the prophetic understanding, is a church. It is also, well, a woman in the Bible is also a church. So, Esther could have been an individual lady or a group of people who is a church. There were about over 11 of us studying together the prophetic messages when we were here at WUSU since 2015 when I entered the movement. President Biden disregards that work. and he comes to 2021 and he feels when he sees the doctor and he sees me coming with my certificate from Harvard and he sees the lady who claims she's 2 meters tall. I don't know if she is because I've never met her. Maybe if I meet her, I don't know if I ever meet her. I'll find she's maybe taller than me by 40 centimeters. I think it is 40 centimeters, about 40 centimeters because I'm 160 centimeters. So she's 2 meters and she's 200 centimeters. I've never met her, so I don't know if she's taller than me by 40 centimeters. And the lady who was studying BSc Computer Sciences, he sees those ladies, there were four of us, and he starts what I did in 2015 all over again. 2015 came in, and I was walking with the ladies. We were studying together. Um, and another thing that it irritates, why it irritates me so much, is that when I've worked so hard, and also because the ladies themselves, there were five of us, the ladies themselves, the the level of confidence and energy they had to tell me they were there with the brother who was teaching us these messages a year before, and to come I came 2015, you can imagine. They came in 2014 and they didn't enter into the movement to then learn and teach and everything. And when we were there in 2015, I was saying stuff like, oh no, maybe because we enter into things differently, maybe we know things differently. But we went on, you know. At first, the ladies have problems with me coming from white schools. They hear my accent, they have issues with me. I can just tell stories after stories after stories after stories of how the ladies then started to make it about me. It is about me. You can imagine, I'm the one who came last. I came last. And on top of that, there are five of us. They keep picking on me. I'm the one who's wrong. I'm the one who's the problem. I speak English too well. Maybe it's because I speak English. And they found that in 2015, they were there in 2014. They could have been in a relationship with the brother. The brother was single, he wasn't married. They could have been in a relationship with the brother, they weren't. They could have given that brother attention, they didn't. They could have listened to the prophetic messages he taught, they didn't listen. Now they see, I don't know if they saw me, but now a brother was attracted to the brother who was teaching, and the brother who was attracted to the brother who was teaching was walking with the brother before me. So I come in at school in February and I'm new. I'm a first year, and the brother is a first year too. He's studying medicine, I'm studying BSc chemistry. And the brother who's studying medicine is going with the brother who's teaching these messages because they were studying first year medicine together. So they're going together, and then I come in around February, March, and February, beginning of March, I come in. And when I come in, the first camp meeting we have, I go to that first camp meeting, and the brother who's teaching the messages asked me to teach Ezra 7 9. And he says, oh, wow, you catch things so readily, so easily, so quickly. Can you teach Ezra 7:9? And I hadn't looked at Ezra 7:9 before, and he said he's gonna share a video. I can teach it, and having my willing spirit to share about what I've learned in the Bible, to do the work of the Lord. I share about Ezra 7:9, that camp meeting, and right before the camp meeting, the sisters come in, and there are four of them. They come in right around the same time, and they're coming from Adventism. We were in Adventism together. And the brothers also come in, and it's like a group of people who come right before the camp meeting. When there was that first camp meeting, they came with us, and it was a large group of people. And I was now a teacher in that camp meeting, my first prophetic message. I didn't understand Ezra 7:9 very well, but I got the the little bit and bit of things. When we just entered into the prophetic message, God already had a plan. He had a plan for me, He had a plan for these other sisters, that one day each of us are probably going to be an Esther, or we're going to be an Esther as a group of people. So 2015, 20 to 2020 is about 5 years. 5 years. And throughout that 5 years, 2016, the sisters say that they are voting I should be deputy chairperson. All of this journey is not something I suspected they are trying to set me up for anything. It's all a journey that went on with everything just normally. And now come 2020, and it's 5 years later, and President Biden is saying that other ladies must be given equal opportunity. Equal opportunity for what? Because 2015 to 2020, we all had prophetic messages. Prophetic messages were shared online by Jeff. We were all told and just encouraged to study the Bible for our own. So, equal opportunity for what? In 2020, I have my messages, and now the Jeff's movement has separated from Paminda's movement, and Paminda and Tessa's movement has now become the work movement. They're the Omega apostasy, and all four of those ladies are not in Jeff's movement. 2020 comes, one lady has left, she graduated, and off she went out of Jeff's movement. Three ladies were left, and these three ladies all went with the work movement. And 2020 comes with July 18th, and they're not there. I'm the only one who's there. So, equal opportunity for what? I don't know what this equal opportunity is for. 2020 comes, 2021 comes, and the president enters, and he's talking about equal opportunity, give other ladies a chance to compete. And I don't know compete in what exactly. Um, I have my messages from 2020, and these messages are the Taliban insurgency, the civil unrest, it is the coming of the Lord. And this is my article. I share this article, it is my work, but it seems when now other ladies should be given equal opportunity, that I'm sharing my work. I don't share my work. No one in the prophetic messages shares their work. When I have my prophetic messages, it's my food. I'm the one who eats that. And when I share with other people, it's inspiration so that you can have your own food too and have your own voice too. So I don't know what this equal opportunity was all about with these other three ladies. There were four of us. But the president is convinced that there must be equal opportunity. So the president sees me with my articles and sees me come out of Harvard with my certificate, and he calls the witches to come from America to him. He hires them, he pays them. Here in South Africa, President Ramaphosa goes to the President Biden, and goes and asks for a loan. He loans him $250,000. And then he gets also another donation from President Biden. It was close to about $50,000. But I'm not sure. But there was another donation other than the $250,000. And so President Ramaphosa gets this amount of money from President Biden. He now forms this thing. It is an event called Imbizo. He does campaigns. He goes around. He goes to the Free State. He goes to Northwest. He goes everywhere. But he was going around Bloem, Free State, Northwest. He's doing Imbizo. And I was just wondering, are now white people going to be a part of this work? Right around that time, they all also formed a tri-party coalition as the ANC with the DA and the EFF. So now President Ramaphosa also brings together traditional healers and leaders of, I can see my nail needs to be cleaned now, but they're short. Imbezo, he calls people traditional healers, witches. He calls okoko. I'm not sure what they're called in English, but they are people who are called okoko. They're witch doctors. So he calls witch doctors. He calls traditional healers. He calls all of these groups of people coming from mainly the villages, and he hires them to do a work. This work, he says, it is to cleanse communities, it is to bring communities together. So he does this, and he's the one who is promoting Imbizo. And President Biden is giving equal opportunities to ladies who were not part of the movement. They don't have messages. They're just standing and they're talking about degrees. And now they come, and I don't know how they came, but they are given things by, there was a minister of defense. Um, he left the office, maybe because he knew what he'd done in 2022, 2023. Um, Minister Becky Cele here in South Africa. He knew what he'd done, um, and and he knew the impact of it, probably because everyone here in South Africa knew where they stood. There were people on social media and people out of social media, and there were people who didn't want to be on social media, or people who were on social media, but people already were given by Becky Cele these tools. He called them. He called them tools to help them grow social media. And I don't know what tools they were, but here we are. There are four of us. And President Biden says we're giving other ladies equal opportunity. And yet, who has the messages? I have the messages, and I'm sitting from 2021 saying, where is my 1335? Where is my blessing? Instead of me seeing and getting anything, or anyone saying anything to me about anything that I've done, people are just going to other people Minister Becky Cele is going to people here in the Eastern Cape. He said, let's go into Mtata because this one's for them, giving them tools for social media. And that's what he did. And then he went back to Maritzburg and he was doing something there too about social media. In my body, it's a lot of pain. It's a lot of pain. And I feel as if the the level at which everything has been taken is far more than what should have been done because of the extent at which when President Biden said what he said and everyone moved, there are far too many people who came to me and made war with me to fight me. Any of, I don't even think many of the people came to me know exactly why now. I think people just coming to me come and say, oh, this ridiculous girl, come and slap her, come and hit her because I have tools for social media to do that. I can just say social media this, social media that. I will be sitting and I pray and I pray and I pray and I feel what I feel in my body. And I think at this time I talk a little bit more about that. When I read the book of Esther, I am thinking about the first five ladies. Sis Sim, Sis Nombo, Sis Nomze, Sis Cindy, and me, Sister Mela, Sister Mamel. And I'm thinking to myself, when God had a plan for the Middle East, He knew the Middle East and He knew the men in the Middle East. He knew the works and He knew what the Middle East does to just praise someone, honor someone, love a woman, especially when she's a virgin. And there are five of us, and all five of us in this instant in the messages, we were the wise and foolish virgins, as we didn't know if we were in 2015 going to come out as wise virgins, but that's what we were working for. So we were virgins. We studied the prophetic messages, and then right along our pathways, we really grew to love each other. We grew to appreciate each other. We knew each other very, very well, to identify each other and see that, oh no, this is the sister speaking, to that level. You know that you close your eyes, you know that this is a sister because the amount of time we spent together was a lot. And we were already, I in fact thought their sisters were going to be my lifelong family members because the Bible does talk about how your family doesn't become your family anymore, and the people who believe what you believe become your family. So, those ladies, when they went and they left the movement and I was left alone, I really felt very, very hurt. I was very hurt. And now I'm kicked out of the movement by Clayton. He kicks me out. And now it is not just the sisters. I'm literally alone now. I'm literally alone. So the work I've done, the men that have been grouped together and women grouped together in the Middle East to fit me as a person is not a mistake. It's not. It's not a mistake. The the way that they have channeled themselves to think and do things the way that they've done is not a mistake. It's not. It would have been like that with all of us as ladies. There were five of us, and all five of us had our unique personalities. God prepared for me that this is the pathway. If they are, as there are five foolish and wise virgins, If they come out as a group, this is the pathway, and these are the men and the women that are going to be working with them, because this one has this personality, this one has this one, and this one has this personality, and that one has that personality, and this lady, well, this one who's me now, this one has this personality. God already knew that we are fitting where as individuals. So when 2020 happens, it was not a mistake. The Middle East, God already probably made them aware of these things. God already was doing a work behind the scenes to fit us. But now comes President Biden, and he overthrew all of that. And I can just imagine Prince Faza is the head of the defense police and head of defense, minister of defense for Dubai. And his personality type is a little bit fitting to my liking. I'm not gonna say my liking. The prince, he'll boast being a horse rider, he'll boast being a runner, he will be a scuba diver, he is he is a sportsman, he is um, also a lover of poetry. And you know what? I even lost sight of that. I lost sight of it. I lost sight of it because now I'm looking at the contest that's happening with the other ladies. I'm wondering what's going on. It's really confusing. I lost sight of that. To look at the man who God has provided. Because I don't know the Middle East any other way other than the way that God's provided. And that's when I see all of these things that talk about my prophetic messages, and I see Prince Father there. I don't know, I don't know Prince Father's father. I know his father. I don't know MBS very well. And I see his photos, but I don't know him very well. I don't know all of these other people, and I don't know the Middle East very well. But when it comes to whatever it is that's aligned with my messages, I know it very well. So, yay. That's what I can say. Yay. What is going on? So, I come in 2020 on the 1st of August in 2020, and I have these messages and they are fulfilled 2021, of course, but there was an event that really, really gave me a lot of confidence, and that's the Beirut blast. In 2021, I enter, and you know what I was expecting? I didn't want to know anything else other than what I know in my messages. Oh, these people. I don't know them. Who's President Biden? I know him. I know him. You can ask me about what I have written about President Biden, and I've written quite a lot about him. But who actually is he's a president of America who just went out of office 2024 because personally I don't know him. So because now it's getting very personal, and it is of course personal. It's very personal, you know, because the ladies who were in Adventism, the four of us in 2021, and there were five of us in 2015. 2015, we were running in the prophetic messages, and there were five of us, and those ladies, three of them are in the work movement, and the one lady just went away and left the movement. And then it is me. Then in 2021, I'm running from 2019 with ladies. There are four of us. And I'm looking now and I'm trying to look at what the Middle East is going on, what was doing around that time, what was going on at that time. And I see, wait, Prince Father was getting married in 2019, and it's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. Prince Father is married in 2019 to his cousin. It's not a mistake. So when I can see this, I don't want to participate and I don't want to use it in my prophetic messages, this whole work that has been going on with President Biden and introduction of these things that he's done. Because I don't know what it means to me. I don't know what it means to me. In 2019, Prince Father got married, and we were separated from the woke movement. We were separated from the woke movement, and we were made up in the on the 19th of November of 2019. And 2020 comes and we are made up. Um, Prince Father is married, and now he enters into office in 2021. Now I can imagine if the five sisters, because now it's five sisters in the movement and it's four sisters in Adventism, if the five sisters um, ran to 2021, which other princes from the Middle East would have been coming up with Prince Father? Because they are at least about five that should be there, and they're not. Why are they not there? Because the sisters didn't make it to 2021. But those princes are there. They are there. Those princes are there. They are there. In 2021, I am running with three other ladies from Adventism, and it seems to be about dress reform, health reform. It seems to be about Adventism, going to church every Saturday and not missing church. Going to church every Saturday and not missing church, taking pictures about going to church, promoting Adventism, and all of that. It seems to be about that. I'm sharing about my messages and I'm sharing about me going to church and everything. But this is not a competition. It wasn't competition because you first need to enter into the prophetic messages first to run with people who are in the message. But I find that these four ladies, in fact, they're five, because there was a lady I invited to the camp meeting with me, but she doesn't seem to be a lady who is so vocal on social media to that extent. It seems she's a lady who shared, but I don't know if all four of us in this group of ladies was really focusing on this lady, or because she was plump, but she's also 200 centimeters. She's 2 meters tall too. She's very tall. So now let me say 5 and 5. President Biden, I don't think he saw this lady because this lady wasn't so vocal. And this lady came along. It seems that all the other ladies came along from Adventism, and this lady is always the one who's hidden from us. So I don't like what President Biden did because I don't know if the ladies who left the movement, the places were taken by these four other ladies. I don't know. But I don't know what's going on here in this situation. All I know is that as I prayed, I said to the Lord, I don't like this competition because Prince Father and that situation there, that's my story. That's not anyone else's story. And that's not me competing with anyone to receive it. I already have it because of whatever it is I've worked on. So in 2021, it was already mine. That story that includes Prince Father and Dubai was already mine. So here are these four other ladies. They come in and they seem to be given favor by President Biden. So I can just now I want to just put it very, very I guess it's something that I'm just thinking about because um, Shushan is a Medes and the Persians. It's two whole nation, and America is a two whole nation. So I do want to just maybe just say that it could be that I come in with that Shushan, and it's the Middle East, the Medes and Persians, and these four ladies that come in 2021 who've taken the place of the four ladies who fell off the platform, of Jeff's platform. They come in and they're received by America. So that's what I want to believe. So I don't know because there's no one who's gonna say I'm wrong. But that's what has happened, guys. That's what has happened. And I don't like President Biden including me with these ladies. So as soon as President Biden did that, I was separated from the ladies, and I was running, but still there's a lot of noise coming from the ladies, and I don't know if they're not happy with America, but America and the Middle East, two different things, two different stories. America is Catholics. The Middle East is Muslims. Those are two different stories. So there's like a four and a one already. And time's almost up, guys, and I haven't read a lot. I think I'm gonna read the first chapter of Esther, and then I explain a little bit more on what I'm thinking here. It's very important, guys. It's very important to me because I haven't bonded with the Middle East, and I don't like that. There's no bond. In 2023 to 2024, I was walking up and down East Street. There's an East Street in um hello everyone who's just come in. What do you mean you cannot hear me? I actually listen to my videos afterwards, guys, and I can hear myself very clearly. So I know for a fact that um I do have a sound and my volume is high. So please, guys, don't come and maybe accuse me of things in my lives. Um, I think I would just appreciate when you first, maybe if you can't hear, you maybe check your headsets if you're using headsets, or your phone, and increase the volume on your phone, because it's almost like you're accusing me of not. I'm literally wearing a microphone here, so I don't like it when you say you cannot hear me. I don't like it unless guys, you really cannot hear me, then you say you can't hear me. Or maybe you can't understand what I'm talking about. I don't like what President Biden's done, but I think with the captivity, the Christians were doing something here, and it felt like it was about Afghanistan, the Taliban's. Um, when people are talking about Afghanistan, the Taliban's, I just shared a little bit more on what was going on when it was going on. Um, but actually, I didn't like what President Biden was doing with me and the four ladies and the three ladies, in fact, plus this fourth lady now I'm talking about. So we're out of our captivity. I shared about our captivity in the previous videos, and we're out of our captivity. And now, um, I am very happy to just be free to choose for myself who are these people who are going to be members of my body, you know. And I've chosen for myself that these people is not going to be the Democrats. President Biden, he brings these tests and then he says the Democrats are people who are members. They are the people. And they're not the people who are members of my body. They're not. They choose as a doctor. The president says, the president, the first lady says, no, we choose the doctor. After all, what can you do with a Harvard certificate in programming? Um, so what is it good for anyway? And they were doing that to try and make the ladies compete with me, but I am in the Middle East already. The ladies were the ones who they were trying to recruit for America. So the competition actually was with the ladies themselves amongst each other, and not necessarily with me, but they included me. And it felt like I was giving away what I was already supposed to earn from what I did with the five ladies, and I didn't get anything out of it. So the president himself probably stood in my place and took whatever it is that I worked for with the first ladies. There were five of us in 2015, and we were all saying, we're going to be Esther, we're going to be Esther, we're going to be Esther, we're going to be Esther. Message of Islam, message of Islam. Who's going to be the next Esther? And then come 2020, and after over 5 years of being so excited that one of us is going to be Esther one day, I get my messages and I become Esther, and I find I don't get anything out of it. Other people eat because now they have gotten favor from the American president who is playing on the second story of these two whole nations. So I don't like what he's done. I'm gonna be Esther. I'm gonna be Esther, and now I am Esther, but I don't get what I've worked for. I don't like that. The ladies, four ladies, got a lot of favor from American companies. And I don't know whether I'm not gonna say whether the Middle East has planted themselves. Now it sounds very disrespectful. All of this, even from 2021, it's very disrespectful because of how I feel disrespected. I feel disrespected. Everything I say, even from when I could listen to the Afrikaans people. They have an Afrikaans radio here in South Africa. I listen to the Zulu people. I listen to, and it's like, oh, I'm the one who's wrong. I'm the one who's wrong. And I just feel the tension in my body just when I listen to the radio stations. It's almost like when they're laughing at me. It's so annoying. It sounds, every time I talk about it, it sounds so disrespectful because of how much I feel disrespected. We were there and there were five of us, and we were there so excited. I'm gonna be Esther, I'm gonna be Esther, the messages of Islam. We come to 2020 and everyone is almost like it's all against me. Peter calls me Satan. We sit in a group and we have to discuss I'm not Satan. He says his apologies, and then after that we're walking out and he says, but she is Satan. And his wife is there right behind me. He says, but she is Satan. And his wife says, no, stop calling her that. She's laughing. She's laughing because she's not the one who's being called Satan here. I am. From there, um, with that, I take it as bullying. It's bullying. So I kept quiet. I'm being a sister in Christ. I kept quiet about it. And then come now, and I'm kicked out of the groups by Clayton. And oh no, no, it's so evil. You're thinking of evil things, earthly things. You want to get married. And he's telling me not to have children, not you shouldn't have babies. You shouldn't. No, it's so evil. I'm thinking about marriage and all these things. Yay, yay, guys. Now, come end of 2020, I have my messages and I am Esther. They kicked me out, but you know what? I'm Esther. Where's the Middle East? Let me go and be an Esther. My uncle is Jeff. And I share this. My uncle's Jeff. My uncle's Jeff. This Mordecai. Because Mordecai is a man who is gonna be made fun of. And then um, he's gonna go to Esther and tell Esther, Haman's making fun of me, and he wants to kill the Jews. And Esther goes for a 4-day fast, and because Haman was to kill the Jews and kill Mordecai, and she then enters, goes to Ahasuerus, and Ahasuerus listens to her and hangs Haman with his 10 sons. Um, and the gallows he built to kill the Jews and Mordecai. Yay, guys! What's President Biden doing? What is he doing? President Biden goes in and he doesn't recognize me. I'm saying, who's this president? President Biden? Where does he fit in? So I don't know. Then I look and I see President Biden is Joseph by name. He's called Joe. President Joey Biden. It's Joseph. Wow, He fits in during the time of famine. Is it Joseph? The president and his wife picked the doctor, and I'm wondering, where is my 1335? Where's my 1335? The Taliban's, they they seem to be unhappy with news coming from Pakistan on issues about social media. I'm like, what? Guys, Pakistan has issues on social media promoting these ideas, talks after talks. They don't know that I'm listening. I'm going to listen to them. When they're talking in Arab, but there are subtitles at the bottom. I'm going to listen to what they're saying. They are talking about social media and 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 the things that they keep pointing forward seem to be hitting me. They keep hitting me and keep hitting me. They seem to be unsatisfied. They're not satisfied with everything that comes with me on social media. And that's Pakistan. And you know who Pakistan is? Islam. There's a Muslim man. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I had the messages. There was a Beirut blast, and 2021 comes, and I'm being hit by America, being hit by Pakistan, I'm being hit by Afghanistan. Afghanistan has 3 degrees, and the Taliban's are hitting me in Afghanistan. Everything seems to be fit to hit me, to show that they're dissatisfied. They're not happy with me as a woman, and yet I'm a wise virgin. I am with my messages. But do I know I'm gonna go to heaven? I don't know yet. Am I a wise virgin? I am. I believe I am. I have messages, they're fulfilled. And I'm the one person among 5 people who comes out 2021. And then I get there and everyone's holding up sticks. They're ready to beat me up. President Biden's beating me up. Now it's the ladies in Adventism. There are 5 of us now on Facebook, and the ladies in Adventism are beating me up. And now it is such a feast to come and bully and beat me up to the point where I almost feel I'm gonna die. Today, I don't know how I woke up. I was sleeping the whole day. I thought I was gonna die. It hasn't ended. That's why I keep talking about it over and over and over again because I'm wondering, do they know? Do they see? Do they recognize what's going on now? Yay! Yay! What are you doing? They keep continuing doing what they're doing. They're doing what they're doing. And President Becky Cele is now coming to Mtata, and people are given stuff now. Clearly, they're gonna beat up a virgin. They're gonna hit a woman who's come out now. Out of the 5 women, she's come out, and now the Middle East supposed to be joined with her. But no, she shouldn't get what the Middle East is coming with. She should be beaten to the point of death instead. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know what you're doing. And oh no, now I understand. I go from life to death, from death to stopping there and then going back. And then I'm wondering, what are these people doing? Because today I sat and it's an hour, now it's going past an hour. I sat today and I recognized something. The Middle East is going to be people in my body, and I've gone out of captivity. But because of this work, this evil and wicked work that President Biden's done to help Christians, I find that I must talk about it so that Christians can just go about their way. They can go about their way now because the Middle East is gonna be people in my body, not the Democrats. So when they're fighting the Christian against the Ottomans or Christians against Afghanistan or heathenism, that's not something that's gonna happen in my body. So they can just um, carefully or go well or I don't know, but they can leave now. I'm not happy. So I say it over and over and over again, and I still feel the pain in my body of everything that has been done to me. I'm not happy. During that time of captivity, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I'm not. So, yeah, Democrats, good for them. And another thing that I wanted to talk about is what I read today. I read about repentance and confession and prayers. It's not just by me saying Christians can safely go now, or they can leave now, they can go now. When I read Revelation chapter 9, and this is where I come in, I come in with the messages of Revelation chapter 9. The people doing this work, which is the work of terrorism, civil unrest, and wars, they don't have repentance. They don't they don't have repentance. And I understand repentance goes with confession, and that is something that happens in prayer. So when they don't have repentance, forgiveness is not a part of it. Confession is not a part of it. Clearly, they don't even pray. And they're not people who have guilt and a conscience of, of, of thoughts to understand anything about wrong about what they're doing because they shouldn't even understand. They don't even want to understand what they're doing is wrong or what they're doing is right. So Christians can safely leave us now. So that when God says destruction of Jerusalem is going to happen, you see Hamas going to Jerusalem, the literal Jerusalem, and they're a rebel group. Look, when they're going to nuke Jerusalem, and Jerusalem is destroyed now. There's no conscience and guilt about that, and there's no expectation of repentance and confession for what they've done. God says it in His Bible. So, where would someone who's Christian get it from that people who've gone to nuke or destroy Jerusalem, the temple in Israel, should now go and confess and repent and pray about what they've done? Because it doesn't exist in the Bible. They don't do that. So, Christians can safely leave us. They can safely go. It's 4 minutes or 4 minutes over 1 hour, and I think I have shared everything. I guess um, I have been very very unhappy, but there are times where I just smile, and 2021, I was even just sharing all of these things that make me laugh. Um, when I find happiness in the small things, but I'm not happy because of what has happened. I'm not happy. In that captivity, I was taken for granted, abused, and ill treated in my body, and I'm not happy about that. I was taken for granted, I was abused, I was ill treated in my body. And just the way that I feel of things that have been going on, even just literally and physically, I wasn't happy. I was working at one restaurant, and even just the influence of this guy who's undocumented coming in, he was strangling me and stuff like that. And even just seeing people just feel like, oh no, they can just go to the owner of the restaurant and tell the owner of the restaurant that um, he should or she should fire me. Guys, I'm not happy with everything that has happened and everything going on because of President Biden's influence. And President Trump comes in the office, and I haven't forgotten. I haven't. President Trump said 2021. It was 2020. Oh, but what would you how would she be queen? How would she be queen? And he was just saying generally, he wasn't putting any names to it. Won't you look at Queen Elizabeth? She dresses so well. She dresses really, really well. You can't go anywhere higher than that. That's a very high standard. And I have just written on my account Queen Esther, Queen Victoria, Ellen White. 2021, I am wearing my crop top with my long pants. Hello. Hey, I tried to send you a message. You and Michael here. I'm wondering if you actually. Oh, sorry. Hi, Michael. Sorry, I thought it was someone else. No, I didn't send you a message, Michael. There is someone who's my friend. They're actually a Scotsman, and I thought it was him. Um, at that restaurant, I worked, and you find people just come and say, fire her. They're competing. They're competing. Fire her. Why don't you fire her? They're telling the owner of the restaurant I should be fired. They're competing for whatever it is they're competing for because President Biden has set up a competition. I'm going around, I'm hired now. I'm working at that restaurant, and I'm going around with my little brother to go and look for a job for him too. And in 2022, I'm in the Eastern Cape, Michael. Where are you? Where are you from? I'm going around, we're trying to look for a job. I'm going with my little brother to look for a job. And he goes to this one restaurant, and he comes back with someone who's mixed race telling him that he might not be accepted at that restaurant because he is he's black. And I'm standing outside. I wasn't really paying attention to what my brother went through. I was so distracted by what was going on outside. It's a group of Afrikaans people sitting there, and they are looking at me, and they keep saying, oh, won't you look at that? And the other people are saying, what? Oh, won't you look at how she's dressed? Oh, it's not right, man. And they're saying it's not right the way I'm dressed. And they say, oh, and she starts having children and her children start dressing up like that. It is not right, man. Can you imagine your children dressing up like that? And everyone else is out looking at me, and I can imagine maybe they were looking at me in disgust. Ew, man. Crop top and pants. I was wearing a crop top and pants. And I had, in fact, I actually had a stomach out. It wasn't a crop top. It was stomach out because I have this t-shirt that's long and I just tied it up in a knot. And so my stomach goes out that way. Yay, President Biden. And President Trump comes in, and I'm like, yay, President Trump. Because they disregard this first five, and they're going straight to the last five. As the last five keeps, when they see that they're running with me, they don't know how, but they're running with me. They are saying they're woke. They're woke. So these three ladies who entered into the woke movement, now it's taken up by these four ladies, and they're running with me as Adventists. So they're saying they're woke. They're woke. What's the difference between those ladies who fell off the platform and these four ladies who are now saying they're woke and they're Adventist? Because now it's almost as if they're running with me because now I ran away. I was running away from those three ladies. Um, and yet we were separated because I was in Just Movement and they were woke. They were in the Omega apostasy of Pomona and Tess, and that's a woke movement. And I was in Jeff's movement, which is called the Alpha movement, because it's not an apostasy. It's the Alpha movement. So, guys, yeah, that is what I'm sharing today. It is not good news. It's very bad news because um, America is restored back. They're Manasseh, and they're going to stay in that condition for as long for till Christ comes back. So America is a glorious land. Even from me just sharing that, I start to imagine in my head the amount of power God's given America just by this event alone. There's a lot of power because the entire world has gone straight into captivity. And I find the entire world, in one way or another, is going to be fighting with America in one way or another. And America's already gotten that front row seat of being restored and being a glorious land that it's almost like an easy way for America to take over the world like that. I'm also restored back, and I'm saying the people in my body is the Middle East. And as a people is the Middle East, then the rest is history. The Middle East is not in captivity also because they find themselves, and I find myself, and we are together anyway. And I think that's how it should have been. So it doesn't matter if I'm living in South Africa or choose to go to America, but the influence of me and the Middle East, it separates us from the work that the Christians decide that they're going to be doing outside of what we are doing in heathenism or heathen gods um, or religions um, of the world, as they say, religions that are not in the belief of Christians. So, yeah, guys, the ladies now find themselves and they're made up. It's a captivity, and they are made up. So, I was made up, and when I was made up, I was going through a temple cleansing 2021 to 2024. So it's like these events coming together. It's a captivity, it's temple cleansing, all of them come together. They happen all at the same time. And quickly sends me to the fires of hell as as Satan already knew that from my messages that I was going to the fires of hell so he can teach me a lesson, you know what I mean. And he did. And I was crying in pain, beaten up by Satan and evil angels. And not only that in the spirit, but also feeling that God is against me. I felt like he's against me because now look at President Biden. What is he saying? What is he doing? What's going on? President Biden, what's going on? President Trump, the Middle East. And it seemed like even King Charles is also saying something. President Ramaphosa is doing something. I'm living in South Africa. I can imagine. I felt really, really hurt, alone, abandoned, just separated, cut off. So that is something that ends because um, the Middle East doesn't come in with reforms. They do all of these things, and my messages don't really come in with reforms. So there's nothing that the Middle East actually does with their um, that I feel when they're in my body is going to create the same environment that was created in the 4 years. So yeah, extreme the difference in my messages and the middle and the Muslim religion to be. And because I'm not in a captivity, the work of the pontiffs in Pakistan or Afghanistan is not really something. But in the 4 years, yo, guys, I was beaten up. I was beaten up. I was beaten up for just even the smallest things. It was extremely evil and wicked of Pakistan and Afghanistan do that at a time when I'm being made up and it's a captivity going on with America, and I find I am Queen of Fairmont for America extremely evil towards me. And so, yeah, guys, yeah. That is the end of this live, and well, nice to meet you, Michael, in Cape Town. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna end this live now, and I hope to see you in the next one, which is gonna be tomorrow morning, I hope. I find myself sleeping right after my live, and then I find I'm sleeping the whole day now. And I don't realize how tired I actually am until I start sleeping the whole day. I'm like, I'm really tired. This is Sunday morning, and I hope I do something really productive during the day. Sometimes I wake up at like 1 p.m. and I try and do something really productive, but sometimes after today I found I overslept, and then I just thought, let me just wait from like 9, 10, and I waited, and that helps me a lot. Like, I would have been doing this if I was at a night shift job. So I think just taking my lives really seriously, even from the beginning, something that motivates me. It's like, yeah, motivates me. I should keep going. Guys, I hope to see you in the next live. And in the next live, I didn't actually read the book of Esther. And in the next live, I want to focus on the book of Esther, actually put it in there and establish it. And I want to also finish the studies of 2024. Have those studies, excuse me, that I'm going to finish also. So looking forward to that. Until the next live, goodbye, guys.